Good evening, I'm Andrea Giglioli, and I want to expose you my part of the project, the right to be recognized. The world of work is constantly evolving, and unfortunately, for us young people, it is becoming more and more difficult to find a place in it. Skills and competencies seem never to be enough. Making an interview and immediately entering a company is now part of the past era. Even once we enter, we come up against a world which, perhaps, we have not been adequately prepared for, or which, perhaps, is not ready to give us what we would expect, to be welcomed and recognized as people. As far as this is an intergenerational battle, youngs enter work environments through ad hoc work formulas, such as internships and apprenticeships, aimed at protecting the employer, but which too often end up becoming excuses for underpaid services and with no security of being hired at the end of the course. Being considered as people means being able to receive a fair compensation for the work done and for your skills, without crazy working hours and excessive workloads. Unfortunately, many youngs, in order to escape from unemployment, find themselves accepting precarious, repetitive jobs, often discontinuous or, on the contrary, undeniably professional jobs, and a distinction between working time and life disappears. We, young people, would like to be able to enter a working context that first of all considers us as individuals and not gears of the mechanism, an environment open to exchanges of ideas, to dialogue, which can enrich our minds and our lives. We would be ready to give it all back. We move in a world of scarce resources, competition coming from every direction, and it would seem inevitable that everything is focused on maximizing productivity at the expense of working conditions. What if there was another way to experience work? How can we act so that these good intentions do not remain just formality? If we want to find an ex-ante solution, we can certainly start with the training of future managers. There are various examples of businesses that have decided to think outside the box. An example is Brunello Cucinelli in the fashion world, which has reformed this structure starting from workers. Olivetti SPA, by Adriano Olivetti, certainly deserves to be mentioned. A company that, from what seemed only in Ethiopia, managed to establish itself not only for being one of the first typewriter factories, but also for the particular attention paid to employees. It was not a simple factory, but a real community. Olivetti argued that there was a close link between the ignorance of the person and the alienation of the worker. Indeed, Olivetti's goal was to combine industrial development with the personal enrichment of workers. It was a real social experiment of indisputable success. The innovation of his business model consisted precisely in putting the well-being of workers at the center of interest, through a series of free services such as the library, with an average of 6,000 books per month, evening courses of various kinds, conferences, and multiple cultural events. The factory, for Olivetti's employees, was not meant to be just a place where to exchange work for economic compensation, but a stimulating and rewarding environment. In doing so, the worldwide success of the industry was inevitable. The Olivetti method is the concrete example that the well-being of workers can be proportional to the success of the company. Then, another selection to push companies to take this path could come from the institutions, through the creation of an official program that records the level of employee satisfaction, especially for medium-large companies, through which the company can present itself to the customers and possibly receive government incentives, a bit like it is done to reward environmental ethics. And I want to thank our professor, Serena Gianfaldoni, Nicola Rinaldi, and Ursula Pondlek for this opportunity.